Hey folks, welcome back for another episode of What's Your Come Up Story. We've got a really good show planned for you today. So I always encourage people to take notes because you never know what resonates with you. You never know what's gonna, I don't know, excite you, inspire you, whatever it may be. So get a pen, get a pad, get some water, whatever you need, because it's gonna be a learning experience for all of us. So I'm gonna bring my my co-host up, K Fit, and we are going to start the dance. So let me get out of here and go where I need to be. There we go. And here comes the smart video girl. Okay, so our K Fit, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm just super hot. Today it's like a really muggy day. It was like 98 in New York, so indoors is a little bit warmer. So besides the mugginess, I'm doing pretty good.
Well, we have to hire a fangirl, a fanboy for you, so they can just like, you know, our guest is here. She's in the green room.
Nice, nice.
Just want to make a couple of announcements before we jump in and start. I've got plenty of water, so I'm going to stay hydrated. Got a few things coming up. I'll be in Cleveland in a couple of weeks for the National Training Institutes Conference. So I have a couple of workshops I'll be doing. And then I'm working on another event with Dr. Brian Champion. You'll see flyers coming out, different types. We'll be working on an event coming up probably towards the latter part of the year. And then, of course, new music. I mean, there's always something to do on the creative realm, which is why I'm excited about our guest today because our guest is a creative influencer. She's done a lot of things. I've known her for a number of years. And what can I say? She's like a soul sibling. Hashtag soul sibling. So if you're out there and you are a soul sibling, you know what it's all about. So let me bring her on up and not delay the moment. Miss Kryss, there she is.
Yes,
Hey, what's going on?
I'm good. I'm good. Can you hear me good?
Your volume's low.
Okay, let me see what I can do about that.
All right.
Let's see what we could do about that.
All
Okay,
right.
but I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you. There's a lot going on. I know there's a lot happening in your camp as well, so that's a good thing.
Yes, yes, yes.
Good evening, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, K Fit. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Yes, I'm excited to be here with you both. Okay, give me one
Yeah, we're going to
second.
be introducing a new segment, and you happen to be the first guest that will be a part of this new segment that we're introducing on the show. So we're going to talk about yesteryear, the present, and the future. So we're going to, go full scope. Like myself, I know you've had so many different iterations or variations of who you are as an entrepreneur, and it's funny because it's like, oh my goodness, I got to go change my stuff now, or will people remember me? It's the same person, but I'm doing a little bit something different, and it's kind of fun. It's exciting. So, now, are you originally from the DMV?
I'm originally from the DMV. Yep.
Okay, okay. Let me see if we can bring your volume up a little bit more. Hold on. Can I? Do I have any control over that? Not really. Let's see. Let's see if I can do that. No, I don't have any control. But I'm gonna wait for it to come back, and then we're gonna go in a little deeper.
Okay.
So, what was it like for you as a teen, or just growing up back in the day in the DMV? What was life like for you?
Oh man, well, as a teenager, I'm an '80s baby. Grew up in the '80s. I was born in '81. So, like I was Tupac and Biggie was my life, So ice cream trucks, playing outside. We always say we're like the last generation of like that knows what it means to play outside. You know what I'm saying? So but growing up, it was definitely like Chocolate City era. I grew up in the quote unquote crack era as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
was a product of that. So my mom was addicted to drugs. So I experienced that. So it was it was interesting growing up.
yeah,
Growing up.
yeah. Yeah, I was a product of that too. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
um, I slipped through the cracks and fell on a crack and couldn't find out how to get it out of me, and it stayed there for a long time. To be honest with you,
Right. Yeah.
and I'm just grateful that today I've become the person I've become as a result of, I guess, it's God's design for my life. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
But now, did you know that when you were, I guess, a teen, that when you got older, that you wanted to be an entrepreneur, or did you have your mindset on being a teacher, a doctor? What was your thing?
Honestly, I did not know. I had no clue. Because it was like I was raised without this like like a real shell of guidance. So I was kind of like trying to find out what it is that I wanted to do. My parents didn't really pressure me. There was no pressure. I was a good student, so I didn't have to, they didn't have to worry about if I was going to do well. So it really was like on my own to try to figure out what I wanted to do. And the only
Right.
real model of success that I saw that I thought was success was my aunt. And
Okay.
she was an accountant and she worked for the government. So I was like, I'm gonna do that.
Right. Right.
that's
Right.
what I
Right.
that's what I did. So and then I went to school. I was a good like I said, I was a smart student. I'm smart. Naturally. So it was like, oh, this is easy. So it's kind of like, what do you want to do? That's what I thought I should do. I was always into art. I loved art. I loved painting. I love my painting classes. I loved my science classes. Um and I loved my math classes. So those were the things that kind of like stuck with me.
See, now I'm able to tie it together because I remember when we first met. Um, you were an accountant. I met you as an accountant. Yeah. Okay. You and Lady J were doing
Mhm.
some things together, especially. So yeah.
We had
Wow.
Black Diamond Financial. When we met you, we were doing Black Diamond Financials, and it was a
Right. Right.
bookkeeping
Yeah.
business, and that was actually my first venture in entrepreneurship. Believe it or not.
Okay. But
Yeah.
you had school experience, life experience. How were you able to apply the financial aspects of your entrepreneurial endeavor at that time?
So I went to Hampton University and to pursue my degree, and I went for business administration, but they had a 5-year program when I started, and you could get a master's. And so I had a concentration in accounting. But part of one of our classes, part of the curriculum in their business school was entrepreneurship. So
Okay.
that was like the really first that was the first formal time that I kind of heard of entrepreneurship. Now my dad, if I can just rewind a little bit, is he's a tradesman. He laid carpet. So as a youth, I would see him, side hustle and lay carpet here, and every now and again he would kind of get his own jobs and hire his own crew, and he had aspirations of creating, wanting to start a business in the sense for doing legacy. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to leave something for me and my sister because that had not been passed down to him. But he didn't
Okay.
really know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? He
Right.
didn't really know what that was. It was just an idea that he had. So that was the first glimpse of it that I saw. But it wasn't until I went to college that I formally saw or heard what entrepreneurship was, and
Got
that it
you.
was something that you could do.
Well, K Fit, you're an '80s baby too, so are you relating to any of this at all, or how is this landing on you?
Well, hello, and yes, I can relate to all of this, and I'm excited to know you're 80s baby, and I relate to so much you're saying right now from growing up around the crack era, and not unsure of your passion, and the family treat. I can relate to all of this, so definitely gonna be a good show. I can see so far, and I have a question for you. On top of that,
Yes, yes, yes. Questions.
what is your passion? As an entrepreneur, what would you say is your ultimate passion right now?
I'm glad you added the right now. My passion, because it has evolved. As of right now, my passion is to get the world to think. as an entrepreneur. That is my passion. So I want people to think. I want them to think outside their box creatively, and I want them to think, just for themselves, so that they can improve the quality of life for themselves. So that's what I'm passionate about right now as an entrepreneur.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can dig that.
it's so funny. I know when I first started to become an entrepreneur, actually, I started. I feel like I'm aging myself, but at the same time, I always tell people, I says, "Well, I'm a millennial, just wrapped up in a boomer's body, so it doesn't really matter." But
Correct.
I wanted to be a CPA
Mhm.
and a singer because my
Mhm.
family's been into music, so it only made sense. The CPA part was much harder than I thought, honestly. And I'm looking at myself as a certified public accountant because I went to a commercial school. I'm in New York, and it's all about business, business, business. But the numbers didn't like me like that well. I wasn't. I mean, I was good at numbers from one perspective, but to do business or to work for someone, it was like,
Yeah.
man, or maybe I just didn't have the focus because I did work in the accounting field as a bookkeeper,
Mhm.
doing debits or accounts receivables, one or the other. I was never full charge a bookkeeper, and I never took the CPA exam, and I
Okay.
kind of felt bad. I went to business management. I said, well, that's a little more diverse and well rounded, and it encompasses a little bit of everything. So I definitely understand, the journey of an accountant, what it could be, or a bookkeeper. And I started in the '80s doing my entrepreneurial endeavor through music with my band, doing events, live
Mhm.
events, and stuff like that. And man, I tell people all the time, don't do it if you don't love it, because
Yeah.
it can just take so much out of you. It requires a lot of your time and your resources. But I remember we would meet, you and I, and when the Soul Siblings were born, we would meet at restaurants or at each other's houses, or we would discuss the different events that we would do. And there have been quite a few
Mhm.
events between yourself, Tara, myself, and Enoch. Over the years, and not to put anyone down, but I think you guys have remained most visible more than all the people we started with.
Mhm.
I just
Mhm.
put it like that. I see
Yeah.
some of the other people, but I give you a lot of credit for staying in the game, for
Mhm.
always finding a new way of reinventing yourself, for connecting with the right people or with people that were upward mobile. So,
Mhm.
all props for that. Um, what's the most important thing for you? Because now I know you're a mom. When I met you, you were not a mom. You were a single young lady doing your thing, whatever that was, and now you're a mom. So how has being a mom changed you, or has it?
Um, Being a mom has changed me. It changed my focus level. It changed my discipline. These these things are important. It gave me a different drive, um, a different purpose for my end game.
Mm,
Because before you actually have kids, you can say you want to do it for your kids. You can say you want to do it, but then once you actually have the children, it becomes different. And so now, for me, being a mom, being a mom and being an entrepreneur has a whole different meaning, because it's like my life is totally up in the it's like everything. I have to throw things up and stick them to the wall and just let them fall as they may. But
right.
what it helps me do is be more engaged with my children. Um, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. Like, that for me is priceless. And it allows me to uh, get my kids involved in the process, to teach them, to show them other options, the things that I did not get to see. You know what I'm saying? That you don't have to go
Yep.
necessarily to work every day. You can do other things to generate income, and you can use your creative abilities.
Right.
So I think that above anything else is how it has changed for me. Besides just being more disciplined, because you got more than one person to look after and everything. I think that comes with being a parent anyway. But as an entrepreneur, it's instilling those things in them that can help them as they move forward to make decisions in their life, fully with a lot more knowledge and not just
Right.
a single visional path to go down.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, if you're just joining us, we're talking to the smart video girl, Miss Kryss.
Hey.
She's one of the original soul siblings, and we're just gonna go deep, peeling back the layers slowly but surely. But K Fit, I know you being a mom, can you relate to what Miss Kryss is saying about, I guess the responsibilities or the approach or the path of being a mom? Is it similar for you?
Absolutely, because life always happens as a mom. The unexpected always happens as a mom. You have to juggle, you have to prioritize, you have to communicate. There's so many working parts that don't end, that don't get vacation or time off, for you to just say, okay, I can deal with this later. So it's a
Mhm.
lot to juggle. A support system is definitely needed. And if you don't have a support system, it's even more stressful and overwhelming on top of being an entrepreneur. So definitely can relate to this. Definitely
Yeah.
can.
Oh,
And how many
yeah.
children do you have now, Miss Kryss?
Two. I have two.
Two sons?
Same here.
No, I have a daughter and a son. The son
Okay.
and the daughter. And the daughter is the one. I'm telling you, my son is the
So there's a
but
mini you and a mini him.
the mini one is the one I'm afraid of. That's the one. The mini me. The mini me.
Right, right. So now, because I know you've tried different things, you've done different things. I know you've been involved on the political side, working with
Hmm.
Dr. Dula. I know that you've done many, many community-oriented events. Because I know we both were doing Suitland Fest for a number of years.
Yes.
And then I remember when you started doing video, I was like, wow, okay. And you even did an event for me as well as music videos for other people. And I assume, are you still doing video? Because you are the smart video girl.
Yes, I am. I am the smart video girl. So it's funny because this year I made an announcement not too long ago that I retired from video production.
Really, get out.
And not in the sense because I had clients. And so, when you transition, when you're talking about entrepreneurship, sometimes you have to go through these things. And so I had finally got to the point as an entrepreneur, right? Because I was like a hybrid entrepreneur because I was still working sometimes I wasn't. And my last job I actually got fired, right? I've never been fired before. Like in all of my years, I would always quit. But I got fired from this particular job. But I was at a point where I was sustainable as an entrepreneur, and this is all through COVID. So I had finally got to the point where I'm sustainable as an entrepreneur. You know how that can feel. You got your clients, they're paying you. You got
Right.
regular, and then I decide that I'm going to drop all of my clients and work on projects that deal with me. And that's what I did. I just did that a couple months ago. So it's funny that you asked that question because I'm always going to be making video and I'm always going to be making content. It's just a different capacity at this point. So what I've been doing is I've been doing a lot of live production work, podcasting and studio
Streaming,
production.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that, both virtually and in studio. And then I've also been doing a lot of um, producing and directing, DPing, which has been great. So as far as like entrepreneurship is concerned, I'm transitioning out of being a service based uh, company and working and creating and becoming more of a creating um, business. If that makes
I
sense.
get that. I mean, sometimes we have to move when the trends move. I know we have to be careful about that because trends and fads shift a lot. And
You're coming
sometimes
back.
if you get caught up in the trends and the fads, you can lose a lot of money and you can waste a lot of time. So I think what you're doing is spot on because it's an extension of what you were already doing, just a little bit of a different format with the technology. So that's
Right.
strong. That's smart. We had a comment. I'm going to see if I can read this comment. Um,
Okay.
Smart video girl. Kryss is awesome. Okay, that was a comment coming from Miss Parker. Okay,
Oh
okay,
yes, that's one of my podcast engineer gigs. So I do. I
okay.
mean, I do a lot, and it's fun, and that's why I get a lot of passion from that.
Yes,
Because back to Kay Fitt's question when she asked me earlier, like, what's my passion? I get to sit in and learn when I do these podcasts. It's it's like a learning experience, and I am like smart video girl. That is me. Cause I'm like a nerd. I tell people that like I'm a nerd because I love learning. I love learning new things, and so being able to sit in on conversations and get wisdom and to get encouragement, get ideas from people like, oh my God, that's me all day. And then I get to make the people look good, behind the scenes. So
yes.
I like to do. So it
No,
works.
talking about nerds. You're talking to a nerd here. I love technology. What's your computer of choice or your brand of choice, whatever?
Well, I'm an Apple girl.
Apple
I like
guy.
yes. So I like MacBooks. I also I'm fond of the DJI brand. I like
I've heard of
their
that. I
product.
don't know too much about that
Camera.
DJI.
Oh, so okay, I'm going to show you. I have look. I have this. So they have about the GoPro. They have their own. They
Okay,
have an action. They have an action, and it's. You can tell I'm a smart video guy. I just picked it up right off my desk. So this
something you
is my
currently
action cam.
use.
This is DJI, and they also look another. This is another
Put it in front
contraption.
of your nose so I can see it. Oh, okay.
Oh, what this?
Oh, okay. You got a Yes, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, and you have a
Right.
I
And
can't
then
think of
this
the
is
name of it.
the gimbal.
Yeah, gimbal. I was thinking about getting one a little bit bigger because I got a couple of nice DSLRs, and I was thinking
Yeah,
about doing another project, but I've always got something in my brain.
yeah. Well,
I
see, I
got a GoPro that looks
gadgets.
like that, but it's definitely not that.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
These are my gadgets. I love to play with these toys. So yeah, I'm an Apple and DJI type of girl.
I'm gonna have to look more into DJI. I've seen it when I've been online and through Amazon, but just haven't taken the time to learn more about it. So Kay Fitz got some questions for you. She's gonna throw some questions at you, and then we're gonna introduce a new segment called "So What Do You Think?" So,
Okay.
Kay Fit, what's your questions for Smart Video Girl?
So my next question for you is, do you have any entrepreneur pet peeves? Like a lot of us, in the beginning of the entrepreneurship, even towards the end, we get these issues with business. Do you have any entrepreneur pet peeves?
um. Yes. As an entrepreneur, and when you're working, you're collaborating, and I'm using these words intentionally. When you're collaborating with other entrepreneurs, um, I think especially on certain levels, on certain levels of entrepreneurship as you go up. I think there's sometimes people misconstrue entrepreneurship and management, or as two different things. Collaboration is is where growth happens. I think that's where like minds can come together and you can build a great things. A pet peeve for me is when you are collaborating with someone, but it's not really of a collaboration. It's more of this is my thing, and this is what we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna do it. And so I was like, okay, well, you could, you know, because when you collaborate as entrepreneurs, everybody is bringing their strong points to the table. Saying everybody has something to do, some strong point. That's why you're together. That's why you didn't hire these people. You're collaborating. So as an entrepreneur, it kind of ruffles my feathers when collaborations turn into management projects, or they billboards of saying, okay, this is my project, this is what I'm going to do, and I want you guys all to help me do it like this. And so
That
that's
sounds like
that's
a more of a project management type of deal, or I've worked for hire because,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. I
Yeah.
said those collaboration. That's intentional. So if that those types of things, and that happens a lot, especially at the lower levels of entrepreneurship, because I think people don't really understand what it takes to be successful, and what it means to bring something to the table to create a greater
It's like, this is
space.
my baby. Oh, no, 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 no. Let me do it. Let me show you how to do it. No, I want it like this. Can you do that? No, 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 no. I know. Scared to death that something's gonna break your
Yeah,
your your idea.
right, and it's a and then and Sir Charles, when I think about it, it's it's a control thing. It's that thing that a lot of us have where we want to
That's true
know
too.
how things are going to play out, but you can't be it's the uncertainty. As an entrepreneur, you live in uncertainty. You live in not
Yeah.
knowing what is going to happen. So a pet peeve for me is entrepreneurs who come in and think that they can
There's a
control.
gentleman named Bob Kryss. He would call that walking the high wire without the net. You just don't know as an entrepreneur. Will people show up? Will it work? Will I make money? Does this make sense? Am I the only one thinking this way? All that kind of stuff. But I
Yeah.
got a couple of comments I wanted to read really quick for both you ladies. Both you ladies look beautiful, Kryss and K Fit. Oh, you look good too, Sir Charles. Thank you. Thanks for being an afterthought. No, just kidding. Just kidding. No, but there's a
Thank
question.
you.
There's another question also. I know K Fit's got more questions for you, but there's another question for you, Kryss, and that was, do you teach the next generation some of your media production skills, and where did you Oh, it disappeared. Where did you last teach? Or, dang, my question disappeared on me. K Fit, can
Oh,
you
It says,
see?
where did you last teach them?
Oh, okay.
I do, I do. Ooh, I love teaching the youth, um, because they love to learn. They're excited about learning, and
Didn't you and Tara have like a curriculum for young media for kids on media a couple of summers and
yeah, we started an iYouth program. It was called the iYouth program, and we taught them multimedia because Korea teaches. She does audio, so together we were like visual and audio together. So we taught kids. We did a summer program. We did a couple of holiday programs like during summer break, and recently I assisted a good friend of ours, Tio, of Cool Room Entertainment at Howard University for a program. They had a week long program, and we were teaching some of the students about filmmaking and how to make a documentary. So that was very interesting, and I
nice.
love working with kids. So yeah, I love it. I
Cool,
teach them
cool.
everything. I teach them from production, pre-production to post-production, how to use the camera, how to be a DP, how to be a director, how to write, how to edit. I can do the full gamut for them.
Yeah, that's powerful. I think with some of the problems that we're seeing in the communities across the country, I think things like media production, this audio and visual learning, I think that's the creative side I know, but I think that's so instrumental and it can make a difference in saving someone's life and some of our young folks discovering a career for themselves, whether it's
Mhm.
writing, the acting, the music writing. There's
The
just so
set
much in the
design,
creative
yeah.
space.
What it does is what I realized. What it does is it lets them know that there are more opportunities in the quote unquote entertainment field than just being on the camera or being
Right.
behind the camera. There's more than those two people and the person who says cut and roll.
Yep.
So there's if you like to draw, you can if you hey, you don't even like people. You might be a solitary person. You might be an editor. You can still edit. So there are different things that you can do in the field, and I think that's the one thing that um, I like to introduce to kids to show them there's anything that you do. It takes a whole team of people to do it. So there's whatever it is you want to do, you can fit in wherever you get
Yeah, and there's so many working parts
in.
to the music industry, the
Right.
film industry. I mean,
Even
from
sports.
from the, from the idea to the end product, there's so many jobs.
Right. Right.
I knew
Absolutely.
this was going to be a good conversation because I knew you were a Mac person, and I know what we've done in the past, and I'm like, this is gonna be good.
I've been excited. Listen, I was like, "Ooh," and because on the low, you have been my mentor, and I really have watched you grow and develop your brand and your message, and be an entrepreneur and stay relevant, like you said. So thank you for the kudos, but I get that from watching you. Like Sir Charles is always relevant. You're always in different circles. You know what I'm saying? You're in different places, and it keeps you. uh, keeps people knowing about you. It keeps people's ears to the ground as Sir Charles. So your name and places, you go into places before you do. So, and that is a different. That's a as an entrepreneur, that's kind of how you have to survive.
Yep.
I have strived a lot of not doing much advertising at all. I I didn't do much advertising. I don't do much advertising. Most of my work has come either through direct referrals and word of mouth.
Well, that's great, and I thank you for those compliments and for considering me as you do. I really love the creative arts, and whether people know it or not, even speaking is a form of performance art because yeah, you can. There are people like your anal retentive, your technical people. Yeah, you can just talk to them because they just want the facts. They just want the facts. But honestly, as a speaker and a presenter, the performance art part is making it enjoyable, making it interesting. So it's almost the same thing. I tell people I rock the mic without a melody. But now that I'm doing music again, I can't say that. But I
Right.
love it, and I love the fact that these things been implanted in me before I even knew how to speak. I just glad that I was able to discover them, mold them, and breathe life into them. Look what came out of one question. K
That's the beauty of
K Fit, what else you got?
Would you say the pandemic has negatively or positively affected your business?
Woo. It has positively affected my business. Like the story I told you earlier about me being fired and then being a full time entrepreneur. All that happened during COVID. Um, I actually became sustainable through COVID. So and then it allowed me to refocus to where I am now, where I walked away from all my clients and moving in another direction where I'm not necessarily doing the time money exchange, which is great. Um, because COVID peeled back another layer of how things can operate. For me, it's all about perspective and how you can look at stuff. Like many people can look at something like COVID and say, "Oh no, things you know are getting tight and scarce, and they can contract." Versus they say, "Oh well, this is an opportunity to expand because everybody's in the house, everybody's looking at the computer, everybody's doing this." So it was an opportunity to connect with more people and to expand the business because we already know that the global market is big, but people were sitting in front of their computers because they had nothing else to do.
We
So,
got a
so
we
it
got a
actually
comment.
helped me.
We got a comment from another colleague that said, "You did a fantastic job, Miss Chris. Work with Mr. T.O. Smoot." T.O. T.O. jumped on to add a little extra credibility and confirmation. And there's
Love
another
it.
comment. Miss Parker said, "We've got great synergy, the three of us."
Hmm.
So we
Yes.
thank all of you for joining on and listening in. And if you're just jumping in, we're speaking with the smart video girl, Miss Chris. She's had her hand in many pots, doing them all well. And this is the thing about having tried different things. It's all about growth and evolution. I believe that what you've learned from the political side with Dr.
Hmm.
Dula and all the things you're doing with him probably contributes to your entrepreneurial endeavors on a wider scale, as well as what you've done in video, what you've done as an accountant or a finance person. All of those individual things make the whole solid. That's
Hmm.
my perspective because it's constantly learning.
It is. Yeah, it is a constant learning process. I and because I'm such a like a nerd, again back to my nerdtivity, I love to learn. So I pick up everything everywhere I go. I'm picking up something new. I'm picking up how do you do political videos? How do you do political messaging? So how do you so and then I'm taking those things like a squirrel back to my treehouse and building building up, like you said, building my brand stronger and better. It's like having a job where you can do every single job and learn every piece of it,
And
which as an
see,
entrepreneur you have to do.
and that's another example of, even though to do a film, okay, from the idea to the end product is different jobs, but different types of films, you do that job differently.
Hmm.
Then more learning, more insight. So that's
Hmm.
that's fantastic because I'm
And
sure.
it has helped. And it has helped. And I've been able to teach. So I'm at the point now where the mastery level is like now I'm able to convey and teach these things to people just through experience. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what kind of video is it? Okay, well you may need one of these handy dandy things so that you can get enough wide angle. The only reason I know is because I walked in without one. you know, I made the mistakes. And then I did the research to figure out how to not make those mistakes again. And it's been a forward progress ever since then. So
Well, you have a wealth of information, especially with video, because you've done a lot of it. You've done it on different levels, from documentary to music videos to talking head videos to streaming. I mean, you've had your hands in production on a large scale, as far as I'm concerned, because anytime you worked on production or on creativity, like I tell people, for example, I said, look, I'm an author, yes, but I've written a biography, I've written a self help, I've written poetry, and I've written resources. Now, most people, they're an author of one type, one style. And
right.
I didn't even think about it until one day I had to do a speech somewhere. I was talking somewhere, and I'm like, oh, snap, you've written in 4 different genres. I said, yeah, that means something, right?
That means
But
something.
but it's the same thing in the filming or videography world. I mean, there's so many aspects that makes it interesting, which brings me to my next question. What would you suggest to a new person or a new young person that's interested in filming or videography, whether it's the camera or, I mean, I know some of the things, so I'm not going to give it away. I just want you to share it.
Um well, I'm going to piggyback off something that I learned too, because I'm always learning. Always be learning. Always have a story. I would say no matter what, have a story, even if it is the smallest story. And say if you're walking to the store, what are you going to get from that store? Whatever the story is, have a story, because what in today's um, society, anybody can pick up a camera and film anything. Anybody, any and everybody can do it. The key is to have a story, because that's what somebody's going to pay attention to. So you can watch something that's horrible, you were and but if the story is good, you're going to continue to watch it because
Yeah,
the story is good. If it has no story, even if it looks good, you're going to be like, "What are we doing?"
right.
And you're going to tune off. So have a story, because over time you can develop the other things. You can develop the look of it. You can develop your camera. You can get better cameras. You can get better lighting, but you have to have a story in
So how
order
much
for you.
would you how much would you suggest? And I know I'm throwing you under the not under the bus. I'm putting the spotlight on you. How
Yes,
much would you suggest that someone invest getting started, and what
mm.
items would they want to start out with?
I would say you can start off with your phone.
True,
They make these
absolutely.
they make these phones, so especially if you get the TL knows what I'm talking about, because I'm getting me one. The new iPhone 13
Yeah,
Pro, the cinematic quality on it is A1 plus. I mean, it is definitely quality. And if you're limited, you know what I'm saying, you can't necessarily have a phone and a camera. If you get that, you have a phone and a camera. You know what I'm saying? You probably can make payments on it. You know, all these phone companies now, they let you get it for free. Use your phone. Use your phone. Start with your phone. And use your phone to start to create and see what you can come up with. Use that to play with your phone. And that's what I would say start with there. I really would say start there because so many people. I'm I'm a smart video girl. I'm not really techie, even though I do love my technology. But I'm not techie to the point where I'm going to spend a whole lot of money. Okay,
Right.
I'm techie for quality. Some people just techie because this shoots in 8K and I have to have 8K. I'm not that person, but the camera on the iPhone is great,
Yep.
and the Samsung right before that was just as good, and that's why iPhone did what they did. So you get either one of those two latest phones, and you would be good.
I got a S8 that's fly right now. It still shoots crisp, so I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good. K
and you
Fit,
can
what kind
tell
of
a story with any one of those. You can tell a story with any one of those apparatuses.
absolutely. K Fit, you got some more questions?
Yes, my next question would be if you could have a conversation with yourself at 18, what type of advice would you give yourself as an 18-year-old?
See, she was. Damn, my goodness. So at 18, I was homeless. So I was a homeless college student at 18, and at that time, she handled it pretty well. I would say that, But what I would tell that 18-year-old, keep doing what you're doing. Stay focused because at that time, like I said, there was a lot of adversity in my life at 18, and I continue to make positive decisions. You know, maybe now if you're talking to the 25-year-old, maybe I would have made some different. I would have told her some different things, but the 18-year-old, I think the 18-year-old, I would tell her, you got this. That's what I would say. You got it. Keep doing what you're doing. You got this. Yeah.
Now, I don't have any special effects, but this is the point where I will go. Now it's time for what do you think? This is the new segment, right? So we got to figure out some kind of way of bringing in what do you think was some kind of a special effects or sound effects. I don't know, but anyway, we thought about this, and I'm like, yeah, that could be kind of interesting. What do you think? And since we're talking to you about, the creative side of your life, seeing like we're having a lot of discussion on the creative side, I figure, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about that. What do y'all think? Okay, cool,
They
okay.
like it. They like it.
What do you think about a lot of these films that we're watching now? A lot of things are streaming, whether it's Hulu, Amazon, Netflix. What do you think about the television programming today and how it maybe impacts the young minds uh, that in our society right now? Because they're exposed to everything.
Yeah, they are exposed to everything.
Even
Um,
your children, your young children,
yeah.
my grandchildren. So what is your perspective on how they're doing this or the streaming?
Yeah, um it's a lot. I don't really consume a lot of television. I don't consume a lot of television, but my son does. He watches a lot of YouTube. Um, and I have my controls and things on that. He doesn't really watch too much TV because it is so like there is no filter now. I really There is no filter unless the parents, you have to put your parental controls and things on. But I think that um the impact that it is having on children, I think, is a little unnerving. You have to be able to talk to your kids now. you really have to talk to them. You cannot just do this, do as I say, not as I do. You really have to to talk to them because they're gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna see everything, and I mean they're gonna see everything. You have there so many different shows, and there's no filter. You know, there. I remember back in the day. You talk about back in the day. You know, they had all the ratings on the TVs, and then only certain things came on at a certain time during the day. But like you said, with streaming, I can turn it on right now. You can. There is no restriction. So I think the what it is forcing is forcing parents to have to be more responsible and more engaged in conversating with their kids. I think it's key because what
I
you're not going to do is unless you're just going to not have them watch TV, or then
right.
you're going to.
I'm curious how well the parents going to fare out. But K-Fit, what's your perspective on that question?
I feel like, for the most part, because of the pandemic, I see it, lasting a little bit longer, as long as we're locked up, bottled in with restrictions because of this pandemic about what we can and cannot do, kids are gonna just, be streaming longer. And honestly speaking, regarding the financial perspective of it, I feel like it's a definitely great way to capitalize from back in the day, regular cable and illegal cable. They're definitely making more money off of this, the way they have all these networks streaming right now. But back to the kids more, I feel like it's unfortunate because they're introducing stuff to the kids way earlier than we're ready to introduce it to them in the home. So it's kind of unfair, and we have to be more proactive and be watching what they're doing because so much is being introduced to them that wouldn't be back in the days when we had the different kind of television, because that content just wasn't available like that. And if it was available, it was a really late night, 12 a.m. you know time frame where kids
Right.
would normally sleep. So I think it's unfair how they're introducing this stuff to us kind of without our permission, but not really without our permission. But I just think it's kind of whack how they get to try to program my kids early on what they want them to see and how they should be normalized to it.
And I think we have a
Good word. She said program, and
yeah.
that's the key. Like we have to be. That's why I said parents have to take responsibility. Okay, and I'm all for it. It's like I'm all for it. And as a parent, it takes more work, but that is part of the job. Like, it's the parent's responsibility. You have to, before your child sees it, you have to have a TV, meaning you got to buy the TV, you got to, you got to buy the subscription, you know what I'm saying? And then you can also lock them out of it. They got to have a password and all these things. So as a parent, you have a responsibility to a certain point to make sure if that's what you want, if you don't want that to happen, that you are in control of that because it is there, but you do have control over what comes into your house and how it is distributed in your house now.
Yep. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of parents fail. I hate to say it, but I think a lot of parents fail because they use TV as a pacifier versus actively being involved, knowing and controlling what their kids see or doesn't see. Doesn't matter that they're going to hear something from the outside. That's not the point.
That's not the point.
As they say, if you raise up a child as they're supposed to be, when they go out in the world, they will not depart from it. Or if they do, they'll come back to it normally. And I
Normally.
think it's easy to go, well, they're going to see it anyway. That's that's I
That's
can't think of the
a
word. That's that's a cop out. That's a cop out. You have to be actively involved in your child's life. You need to know what they're doing in their room, not just because you're doing your own thing. And I growing up, I would catch a lot of flack because people were like, "Oh my God, man, you whack that, man. That don't matter." Yes, it does matter. It matters what you say in front of your children. It matters
yeah.
what you allow them to do, which gives them the mindset of thinking, "Oh, I can do what I want,"
Yep.
and it does matter. It makes a big difference.
I tell my son. So my son is 10. He's going on 11. And so on his he has an iPad, right? He just got an iPad. Like he just got an iPad. So he looking at me crazy because he's like, "Mom, I'm like all these kids, baby. I'm sorry." So but he just got an iPad. So I have it. So anything he downloads, I have to approve. You know what I'm saying? He has it to the point. I told him, I said, you can go ahead and try to download it, and it'll notify me. He won't. He'll come and ask me because I have been diligent and intentional to make sure that he knows that whatever you download, bruh, I see. Whatever you do, I see. It's funny, but it's not because he'll do things, and I always find out about it somehow. You guys know how moms always find out. K-Fit's like, yeah, I'm shaking her. She knows how parent. We always find out what happens, and so I told him at a very young age. I said, listen. I said the best thing that you can do is communicate with me. I said because see what happened. I said when you didn't tell me what happened, what happened? I found out anyway. So it's like I said, mommies always find out. We always find out. So now at this age, he's very open and communicative with me because he knows he doesn't want to risk me finding out.
Yeah.
And what I've done is it's like it's okay. Whatever it is, it's okay. We have to open the door to allowing our kids to know that it's okay to communicate with us and they're not going to get in trouble because of because there's so many things outside that they're not privy to, and we blame our kids for things that they don't even understand sometimes. What I'm saying? You get in trouble for things they don't even like. You're not supposed to do that. Well, they don't know they're not supposed to do that. So
Or
you can't
that it's okay if they do get in trouble because that's how they learn. I mean,
how
if they
you learn.
make a mistake, if they're trying to get over, okay,
Yeah.
well, we've got that parental wisdom, so we can always, catch them, but we explain hopefully the lesson is explained even though they may have the punishment or the damn wild words escape me today, but even though they may have to pay for their deeds, their wrongful deeds,
Consequences.
we should explain to them why this is happening, and it doesn't make them a bad kid or a bad person.
Right.
So
Yeah, and that's what I do. And so now he's very upfront. Now he comes, he's like, Mom, listen, and and as a parent, sometimes you gotta be like, oh Lord, have mercy. But it's good because they're gonna come to you. So we have to, like you said something, he's like, I don't know how the parents are gonna offend. A lot of stuff that parents do is for parents. It's not for the kids. We
right,
protect ourselves more so than we do our kids sometimes. To
true
our
that.
to their harm sometimes.
Yeah. K
Yeah.
Fit, what else you got for Miss Chris?
Do you practice health and wellness in any aspect?
Mm, I do. Um, I do. I meditate. I practice my meditation. I have a morning routine where I get up and I do my gratitude. I write out at least 10 things that I'm grateful for. But I just fill up a whole page. I just go to start the writing. And that's one of the things that I do for my to start my day, and that right there is health and wellness. And
Okay.
yeah, that's health and wellness. Believe it or not, because it it motivates me to, it inspires me to continue the rest of my day. The rest of my day usually goes seamlessly, regardless of what it is. So, I'm not the best at I don't have a workout routine. I'm a mom, so going up and down the stairs may be my workout routine for the day. But um, I do practice meditation, quiet time, meditating. I do have sounds and stuff that I listen to, and I do journal, and so I do a lot of mental health and wellness. And I actually practice.
Mental health, no
Nice.
doubt, no doubt.
And I do it with my kids too. Part of our routine in the morning, I tell them three things you gotta do. You gotta get up. You gotta when you get up, wash your face, brush your teeth, eat your breakfast, and then do three things that you're grateful for. They tell me. So me and the kids, and even the 2-year-old, and I let them say whatever. It's like my daughter says she was grateful for her pull ups. So I said, Amen. Whatever that is. So
Yeah,
I
I
said
would
that.
look. I would have been grateful for all my GI Joes when I was growing up. I'd be like, yeah, I got all my GI Joes.
Yeah, that's what they're grateful for. They're grateful for like cookies and windows, and but it's so funny because they're grateful for like the silliest things, but it's actually a very fun exercise.
Yeah, and that's powerful actually because if they can be grateful for the silly things, they can be grateful for the simple things. And a lot of times we overlook the importance of, the simplicities of life, like just waking up. blood running through our veins, air in our lungs, the fact that we can have a nice home, a roof over our heads, you know, even though there may be craziness going on outside, it's still a place of shelter that's for you, that's you can say it's yours, so to speak. So the simple things make the big things possible.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love that you do that. I think I'm gonna steal that idea or incorporate it with me and my daughter. I love that idea.
Yes, please do.
Maybe we can do a challenge, a gratitude challenge, you know?
I'm all
Yeah.
for that.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Sure.
indeed.
Do I have
So,
time for another question?
yeah, and let's find out what's coming up next after your question for the smart video girl.
Okay. Smart video girl, you sound like such an amazing woman. I hate to ask you this question, but I have to ask you, what are your weaknesses as far as an entrepreneur?
Mm, mm.
It's okay, you
Um,
can make up one you want to share.
no, no, no. This is a good one. I like to search this. I like to search myself to see where I may be lacking. Um, as of right now, one of my weaknesses as an entrepreneur is um my promotion. As an entrepreneur, like I said, a lot of my stuff has been like word of mouth, and direct relationships. I want to expand internationally. So a weakness as an entrepreneur is that I'm not posting and I'm not promoting what I'm doing enough so that more people can see what it is that I'm doing. So that would be a weakness of mine. Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe it's working out good right now because maybe you might get so overwhelmed that you may have so many bookings. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't post anymore.
I'm working on that part. That's what I'm
But you know what? That's real, because I think, and maybe this should be another um segment for, so what do you think? But
Hmm.
it's just sometimes it can be so overwhelming. It really can.
Mhm.
And you talk about mental health. I found myself feeling like I don't feel like being bothered. In fact, I stopped even looking at my phone for social media unless I needed to make a post. And even though that was kind of self-centered, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about the cat videos, the baby falling down, the animal.
Right.
All I wanted to look. What's your come up story Thursday? That's it. I'm out. I don't need to look at my phone no more. It was just
Oh my
becoming too
gosh.
much,
Mhm.
just way
But
too much. And I had to make a decision to draw the line in the sand and say, okay, I'm going to use social media and not let social media use me.
Mhm. Mhm.
amen to that.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel like YouTube is the devil sometimes, really quickly. Did you guys hear about the doctor, the anesthesiologist with the pregnant woman?
Yeah. Yeah. See,
I'm not
I don't.
sure.
That's why I don't watch.
Yeah,
That's why I don't engulf myself with social media and stuff like that. And but
very
too,
informative, but scary and shocking to know can realistically happen at a doctor's visit, you know?
yeah. So it's crazy. That is
Maybe we can have that on another segment, because I like to get into that because I'm not really informed on that. So,
Yeah.
what's next for the smart video girl?
So I right now I'm working on building my brand of myself. I
Sure.
think that because when you do that, it's I'm getting away from the time money exchange. You're kind of getting into that residual wealth thing. So um, I have my podcast that I have been doing for the past 2 months. It's been really exciting. It's called Introducing, where I introduce people to new people, new things, and new ways of thinking. And that's kind of my platform to talk about all the things that I'm doing as well. I have a book that I'm working on. It's called
Oh,
Do the Work.
nice.
Yes, Do the Work, Keep the Faith. And it's about growth.
Good
Personal
title.
growth.
Good
Yes.
title. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm working on that. I'm also working on sharing some of the tools and things that I've learned myself about personal development and how the mind works and how we can use our minds to achieve the things that we set out ourselves to do. Um, my production company is called Only Greatness Media Production, so I'm actually
Yeah.
launching. Only Greatness Life Coaching, which is along the same lines because um, my slogan is making visions visible. And I think in life, with the tools that I've learned, I can do the same thing to help people make their own visions internally visible for the world to see. So that's what I'm working on. And I have
So,
this, t-shirts. I've got my t-shirts.
oh, okay, okay.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
So
Okay.
when can people catch the podcast? When is it on or up, or how often does it premiere?
Yeah, so the podcast comes on every Tuesday at 7 p.m. You can check it out on YouTube. Right now, it's on YouTube only, and it's on the Only Greatness Media Productions channel. So you can go on over there and check it out. And it is Only Greatness Media Productions, and you'll see it. It's like a little camera and OG. That's me.
Well, every single person in my network has said, "When am I going to be on your show?" And I couldn't tell them, so I said, "This was the perfect."
Listen, I know. Look, including you, including
I'm
you.
like, hey, come on! I'm trying to be down with Miss Chris. I want to be down with the smart video girl. What's up? No,
And
that's
I
all
the whole
good.
found
thing
the
has
I
been
found the
amazing.
YouTube. Okay.
You found them?
Yes, I found them.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, you'll see in them.
That's
It's
great.
you. All of them are on there. I appreciate it. It's been amazing. I've had some great people on.
Good.
I had some historians. I had family on. I had some people that I've had history with, and I had some people that I just met. So it's been
Nice.
awesome. It's been awesome to yeah. I have my sister on. I've been with her all my life,
No doubt.
and yeah, and that was interesting. And then the last person I just had on, she had a stroke at the age of 33.
Wow.
Yeah, out of nowhere. She had no previous medical history. She had a stroke, and now she's this like amazing artist. She had
Nice.
no artist inclination beforehand, and then she had the stroke, and then it was like boom. It's been 2 years, and she's like this amazing artist.
Hey, did you know that um, Willie Wimbush and I collaborated on a song on a track?
No,
You know the song that I did with Dr. Willie Jolly?
yeah,
Well, Willie Wimbush collaborated on that with us. He gave me music. I added more music. I added lyrics and sang it. Had Dr. Jolly join us, so we got a special edition track. So, oh yeah, it's called
you
"Who Can
need
Make It
to send
Better."
that over to me. You
Oh,
need to send that over.
yeah, we got a music video on it and everything.
Okay, you get to send that over to me because I do new things, so that can be like one of my new things.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I'll post it in this feed in the Change the Brain group so that those that are watching it can hear it. The song was on my album called "Adjust Life," and then I went back in the studio, did an instrumental version of it, a solo version of it. He did a solo version of it, and then we did a duet together. So it's a special edition song as well as it's on my last CD, which came out December 18th, I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're such a great. That's what I'm saying. You're so multifaceted as well. So you keep me
Look,
inspired other
I'm
ways.
laughing at myself because inside I'm thinking, wow, when we first met, I didn't have no gray hair and I had hair on my head. Oh my goodness.
All have times have changed.
Yeah. And
Like
I
you said, I
remember,
had no kids when you met me,
right, you
so
had no
now I have
children, right? And I
children.
remember Willie was up there. We was at Suitland Fest doing events here and doing events there. And
Yeah,
he was doing the sound, the AV. And man, it's been a long journey.
it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey, and
Well,
we're just getting started. So honestly,
any any parting comments that you'd like to share with the world before we leave? I know you just told us where to find you, but any other comments or parting words of wisdom you'd like to share with us before we close out?
just real quick, if you are on Instagram, you can follow me at Smart Video Girl on Instagram. I have I have a campaign I'm starting. I want us all to be smart video girls, all the ladies out there, because I'm trying to rebrand that whole thought process of a video girl. We can be smart, we're, dirty video girls, smart video girls. That's us. So, if you want to get you a smart video girl T-shirt, I have plenty. Make sure you reach out to me. You can send me a DM again on Instagram, or you can follow me on Facebook. It's Crystal with a K, Miss Chris Glenn. And I just want to say that it's a lot going on. I'm going to leave you these parting words. And with all of the uncertainty in the world, we get locked into wanting to know things. And I encourage everyone to get comfortable in uncertainty,
Mm.
knowing that the universe is always working in your favor. It's always working in your favor. So let's switch that mindset. Live in the uncertainty, knowing for certain that everything is going to be all right.
You guys just hang in there for a second. So, for those of you that have been watching, we've been speaking with the Smart Video Girl, the one and only, the original. And if you have an interest in personal and professional development, please feel free to go to our site, Wordsmith Speakers Alliance, where you can get any book you like on personal or professional development. There are book sets, there are audio sets, there are video sets, and not just by myself, but many of my friends have contributed to this website with their own personal development and professional development materials as well. It's great resources, and you get up to 60% off. Just go there, save some money, and make a difference in your own life to be the best version of you. And as I always say, you got to radiate the brain and change the game. Until next time. That was good. That was it. There. Bam. Cool, cool, cool. That was good. That was good. Thanks so much for giving us some time, Kryss.
No problem. No
And,
problem. I see you use Ecamm. I like that too. I was
yeah, I
like,
like Ecamm. It was
oh.
crazy because I was using Ecamm with my ATM Mini, and
Mm-hmm.
my friend was like, "You don't
Oh,
need both of those," but I was like, "I don't know. I like it. I like all of it."
he
Because
said, I like it.
I was switching
I need to switch
cameras and
it.
I
I'm
was
gonna use
doing all
it
kinds.
next
Shoot. But it's just so much fun, and then I got the Elgato lights.
week.
Those are really great, and of
Yeah.
course the Stream Deck. So
Yeah.
it's just fun, being a big geek, a grown up geek.
A grown up geek. I love it.
No doubt, no
I
doubt.
love it.
But yeah, go into the group and respond to Tio and
Yeah.
Sharon and whoever else, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Yes, I see. I see. I'm gonna go back and like everything.
Are you
And
still
thank you.
working with Carib? Are y'all doing anything together recently?
Oh, yeah, we're always working together. You all know that we always. So I mean, besides the Black women connecting communities, the way it's really become this true synergy. You know what I'm saying? So she's developing Wild Radio. She's gonna have my podcast is gonna be syndicated on Wild. Um,
Then I need
but
to get her
other
on.
yeah. You need to get her on. She's doing her thing with the audio.
Okay. Okay.
But as far and then Black women connecting communities, that's like her brainchild. She's really into like community work. That's really her. She's really good at
Oh,
organizing.
did you know that I was I did a conference, Blacks in Government, and I ran into Lady J.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was doing. I forgot what city. I don't know if it was Vegas or.
Shut
Well,
up! You probably
I
yeah.
was somewhere, and
Oh,
Lady J was there, and it was just great seeing her there, and all the things that I was doing. I was doing a couple of different workshops. One on my book, Radiate the Brain and Change the Game, and then another teaching on my book, What's So Hard About Being You. So, but it was good to see her there.
yeah. I
So
said I
yeah,
talked to her the other day. She's
good,
in
good.
she's in South Carolina. But listen, when my book comes, I need to get on that site with them other motivational things, Sir Charles.
Absolutely. And let me know
Yeah.
if you need somebody to do a forward for you or something.
Oh.
All right.
Yes. It says so. It's Do the Work, Keep the Faith. That's the name of the book. It's about growth. Okay.
That's strong. That's strong.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time, I'll see you later, okay?
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate both you and K Fit. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
You
No
bet.
problem. Great one.
All right.
Now, what did you tell me?
Me?
Yeah. What about
Regarding
P Valley? The second series, second season, episode 2?
the
I
car
forgot what I was
wash.
looking for.
I was asking about the car wash. Comment on the car wash scene.
Oh, that was interesting because that's the guy from the Shy. He's the father. That's Emmett's father.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very creative. I don't know if
Yes,
they're doing that,
creative. Yeah,
but it's very,
creative. I'm like, wow, that was
yeah.
very creative. I really like the show.
I watch it from different perspectives. Like in general, it's okay, but because of the creative side of myself, I look at, I wonder how they did that, or I look at the diversity from the day-to-day life drama, the music, the gay stuff, which I'm really not, but I know it's real. It's part of our society. The political thing, I look at all these different segments, how they make it all work together, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
very good the way they do that. So
Yes,
that's one thing I
I
like
like.
about it.
I don't like that it's stripping specifically. I like that it's showing the life of the down low community. They everyday men that have regular jobs that look like the strongest men, stuff
Hey,
like that.
Chris, what's going on?
You still live?
No, no, no. I'm just in the green room talking with K Fit. That's my daughter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says that you're live online.
Oh snap! We are live.
Oh
Bam!
gosh.